started shooting this video yesterday and uploaded it, and I had this too loud in the background, so I decided to kind of redo it with a little different approach. And what that is so I make a top 10 favorite death metal albums I rarely see on anybody else's list. I've seen people show these albums, but it's rare to see them on a top 10 list. So I thought it was a good idea. I've kind of run out of ideas, writer's block, so to speak, and I thought this would be awesome. So anyway, hopefully you guys like this video. And the first one's going to be this Dismember album, which is playing in the background. This is Dismember's self-titled album. The song playing in the background is No Honor in Death. This is really absolutely adore this album. It has the Swedish sound, of course. This one, to me, of course, you could hear in that track, is really doomy. But a lot of the tracks are kind of like death metal meets Iron Maiden in a way. That makes sense. Some of the guitar solos just remind me of something off of Killers. And they do some really cool dual guitar solo work in this, which is really interesting. And listen to that. It's a fantastic album that honestly, I don't think I've ever seen anybody show this album. Released in 2008. I really like his vocal approach. Reverb. Fucking killer Swedish death metal right here. 2008 from one of the classic bands, Dismember. I love that artwork. Come with this slip. I really dig that slip case. Anyway, that's what's playing in the background. That's number 10. Next one up, of course, I've seen people talk about, but it never appears on a list. And that's Angel Corpse, The Inexorable. Is that right? The Inexorable. And this is a reissue, of course. The original artwork, because you've probably seen people show this, would be this. This is Killer Black and Death Metal. The reissues have kind of a little goat pentagram there. But like I said, this is really Killer Black and Death Metal, released in 1999, I want to say. Finally got a copy of this. I've been wanting a copy of this for years, and finally got one. So what the band reminds me of is like Morbid Angel, like Covenant era, I would say. The guitar riffing reminds me a lot of that. Also reminds me of like the ferocity of it reminds me of like Immortal, Battles in the North. So what a really killer combination, in my opinion, of Covenant and Battles in the North. Kind of mixed into this. Fucking killer album. Favorite tracks is Storm Gods and Bound. The opening track is awesome. Wolflust, Begotten Through Blood and Flame. That song rules. And The Fall of the Soul. Idols of Flesh, sorry. Looks like souls with that font. Killer fucking album. Angel Corpse, then Inexorable. Next up, the reason why I've been listening to this one a lot lately is because of Stream. I've mentioned this before. It was Drunken Metalhead Musings, Brian Arkham, and another fella. And Brian Arkham produced this album on there, which made me want to pick that. Hold on a second. Here's that dual stuff. All this. Isn't that beautiful? Some melodic death metal right there. This has it all. Ended in an Iron Maiden fashion. But anyway, back to this one. So Brian Arkham showed this, and this is I believe 2002 Cannibal Corpse album, Gore Obsessed. Fantastic one, of course. I'm sure everybody's heard this, but like I said, never see it on the list. Savage Butchery is my favorite track on this album. The opening track just sets the mood for the whole thing. Corpse Grinder does some screams in there that kind of is a lot better than Chris Barnes, I would say now. But anyway, yeah, this is killer. This is a killer album. Love to see this one shown a lot more. But just happen to have a copy of it as well, so killer shit. Next one up, I've shown before, but it's never on any list. Regurgitation, Tales of Necrophilia. It's brutal death metal. Kind of reminds me of Cryptopsy in a way, None So Vile. These albums kind of sound similar, in my opinion. It could be just my opinion. This one's a little bit more aggressive. But this album, what really makes it interesting is the guitar work. And they throw a little clean guitar piece in there that I really like. Just kind of give you a breather, because this is punishing. Kill ass death metal. So Regurgitation, Tales of Necrophilia. Fucking killer album. Next one up, I think I've only seen one person show this album, which is mind-boggling. That was Marty Worm, but it wasn't in a list. It was, I think it was his top meaningful death metal albums or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I've seen it a while back. But anyway, this is Grave Solace, 1994. One of the grooviest death metal albums. Simple riffing, catchy and so memorable. The title track alone is one killer fucking track. You can sing along with all of these. His vocals are very clear. You can hear every word he says. This one's a killer one. So anyway, yeah. Grave Solace is another one I don't see on the list. That should be, in my opinion. Next one up, Suffocation, Souls to Deny. So when this first came out, I didn't really care for it, to be honest with you. But over the years, it's grown on me. And it was the opening track that got me. Deceit, which is my favorite track on it. And I really dig the neoclassical style riffing in there. And it just has a swing to it. And it's powerful. And then, just a fucking killer album. And I believe that's Ed Repka art. He's done scenes like this before for Skeletal Remains. And I believe that's Immortal. I can't even remember the name of it. Also, Gateways to Annihilation. It kind of looks similar to this. But this is another one. Let's see that. That riff right there just grabs the soul. And then this solo. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, Ed Repka art. I think Gateways to Annihilation is another one that looks similar to this. And I love those pieces. And I love this piece. And this is a great fucking death metal album. Good shit. Suffocation, Souls to Deny. Another one I don't ever see. I don't even know if I've seen this shown in the VC. I know people have this album. I can't be the only one. But nobody really talks about it, and maybe it's because they don't really care for it. But in my opinion, this is a great Diecide album. Till Death Do Us Part. And I can't remember what year it was released. I didn't look it up. But the very beginning is really kind of doomy for a Diecide album. And I really fucking like that. And then, of course, it gets back into the typical Diecide stuff. I listen to this album quite a bit, at least once a week. I'm going to be honest with you, when I first heard it, it wasn't my favorite. I could say that. It's just an album that's grown on me over time. This is the original pressing, I believe. But like I said, it wasn't released that long ago. I just don't remember. But look, now artwork is fucking killer. And it's a killer fucking album. Killer shit. Revisit it if you are not that familiar. Another one, Therion, Beyond the Sanctorium. This, I believe, was released in 92 or 93, I want to say. I don't remember the year. But I think this is the last true death metal album that Therion recorded. One of Darkness is before this one. But this is absolutely fantastic. And I think this is the album when they first started experimenting. There's a little piece that has some female vocals on it. But the riffing in this thing is just insane. Severely underrated death metal gem right here. Severely underrated. I can't say enough about this one. I know you all know these bands, but these are just albums that I think deserve to be talked about. Therion, Beyond Sanctorium, fucking killer album. Swedish death metal, by the way. Next one up, my favorite incantation album of all time, Diabolical Conquest. And Marty Worm showed this one as well in the same video as he showed that Grave album. And I couldn't agree more with him on these albums. Just absolutely fantastic. This one was released in 1998. It has Daniel Corchado. Is how you speak his name. Which he's I think he played bass and vocals on the Zenotaph, The Hidden Sorrows of Our Gloomy Reflections. He's also in The Chasm. But his vocals are probably my favorite out of all the vocalists Incantation ever had. Of course, Chuck Pillard was great. Don't get me wrong, but his vocals have a certain sickness to it. And that's perfect with Incantation. And it's very sad that he only did one album with them. I wish he did more. This one's just a absolute gem of an album, and one that I'm severely needing on wax and wish somebody would reissue it. One of the best death metal albums ever recorded, in my opinion. Incantation, Diabolical Conquest. And I paused before that because I always get, I've said this before, Sinister, Diabolical Summoning mixed up. I'll call one to other and the other to other. And the last one up, I rarely see. I've seen James Boulder talk about this album here recently. And this is Cancer, Sins of Mankind. And I want to say this was released in '94. I'm not entirely positive, but I believe it is. And to me, this is where To the Gory End left off. I think whenever they did Death Shall Rise and they brought in James Murphy, kind of changed their sound, in my opinion, a little bit. Still a great album, don't get me wrong. But this is this kind of picks up where To the Gory End left off, in my opinion, and just absolute banger. And it always cracks me up. I'm going to point this out. But I always want to ask Corey Taylor, did you get his mask from this guy? He was doing it in '94. I'll point that stupid little bit out. But anyway, yeah, this album right here. There's some days it kind of doesn't hit the spot, I will admit. But for the most part, I could pop this in and enjoy every minute of it. I used to listen to this one on car rides, trips to the river to go fishing, quite a bit. And I think that's what it was I bought on cassette. My old car back in the old days had a cassette player. And I love to listen to this thing. Cancer, Sins of Mankind. Of course, I'll post links in case you're not familiar with these bands. You should be familiar with these bands, but these albums, or maybe it's an album that, kind of like me, it took some time to grow on me, so I put it back on the shelf and never really listened to it again. It's kind of what these albums are. Some of them, not all. But anyway, there's my list, my top 10 favorite death metal albums I rarely see on anybody else's list. Hope you dig the idea. It's not a dig at anybody. It's not what it's meant to do. It's just a video idea, because I couldn't think of any damn thing. Anyway, closing off with Dismember. I love that bell. There's another track, Europa Burns. Play a little bit of this. It's got a little bit of that death roll. Next track. That's true old Dismember sound stuff. Anyway, hope you guys like the video. Y'all have a good one. I might shoot one showing some more of my vinyl collection. I did talk about that in another video that'll do that. I think today or tomorrow may proceed. Y'all have a good one later.